Somebody forgot to hit start.
I'm Amit. I am a judge in training. I will be keeping track of time, showing you this if 1 minute is
Yeah,
left.
show them the other side.
Yeah.
You showed them the
Oh,
back
sorry.
side.
As you can see, I'm in training, so I will be showing this as time goes up. And, yeah.
So we have 5 minutes of your innovation project, 5 minutes of questions, 5 minutes of robot, 5 minutes of question. We'll finish with core values. Great. All right, go ahead.
We are the Energetic Minds. My name is Gabriel Ikpe, and I'm in 6th grade.
My name's Daughtry Coley and I'm in 6th grade.
My name is Sahasra Danaway and I'm in 6th grade.
My name is Lassie and I'm in 6th grade.
My name is Kayla and I'm in 7th grade.
I'm Xavier Campbell and I'm in 4th grade.
I'm Sally and I'm in 4th grade.
How can we use technology and arts to increase people's access to drawing instruction? Our research showed us that budget cuts in schools have reduced the amount of art instruction. Our research also showed us that due to COVID-19, a lot of art programs were shut down. Our research also showed us that some people cannot afford to have these types of instruction. Lastly, our research showed us that in rural areas, art restriction is limited and scarce.
Our research also showed us that art instruction is essential because art motivates children to school. Students will also have better handwriting, there will be more student engagement, and students will have better memory.
The whole team brainstormed and contributed ideas of topics we are all interested in. We then took a vote and narrowed it down to our favorite idea. When we voted, we talked about if our idea answered our question and also if it was new and innovative.
We used the engineering design process for our innovation project. We researched information, then we planned the prototype of the model, we made the prototype of the model, we shared the prototype, and we improved our design.
We decided to do an art bus because it would be accessible to all neighborhoods and it would drive to the neighborhood. We would take the art bus wherever is needed, including schools, library, community events, and or birthday parties. This is because some people don't have access or exposure to art education, and some people don't have the chance to go to art museums.
We agreed on the following specifications: interactive floor-to-ceiling 4-screen bus, generator/solar panel on the top, Wi-Fi capabilities to electronically share projects, printers inside to print the final projects, headphones with music activities to do while you're doing your art, and finally a screen on the outside to see what's going on in the inside or to extend the activity to more people.
At Marquette High School STEM Night, our team surveyed 31 children to see if they would like to go on our art bus. We also asked them what they would like to see in it. 29 out of those 31 children said they would like to go on the bus.
Out of the two art sets that had highest votes were painting and coloring. Based on the results, we decided to do more than just drawing classes. Here are some of our ideas for other types of art instruction: painting, coloring, dance, and virtual art museum.
We talked to professionals at the Dayspring Arts and Education Center about our project. The experts gave us feedback on our project and how we can make it better. Here are some of the few things they said. Art on the outside of the bus, a time limit, various age groups, and a front desk. We applied these changes to our bus on our final project.
The whole team had the opportunity to use digital drawing apps to create multiple pieces of art. We had to persist to find an idea which wasn't already created. We made an impact representing FLL at Marquette STEM Night. We helped those who wanted to join FLL. We shared resources and offered to help those who wanted to create their own team. And we created a contract of how we wanted to interact and treat each other, and everybody signed it.
Our team searched jobs weekly to make sure that everybody got to participate in both coding and the project. Our team all agreed on what was best for the project and coding, so that we could all, showing that we could all decide on what our project was going to be. We enjoyed ourselves at Marquette STEM Night, and we also went to main event as a team to celebrate our great season. We also went to Daysprings Art and Education. Thank you. Any questions?
Yes.
good presentation. I like the way you spoke in sequence. It was well organized. I like it. Couple of things that I think, your art bus is very well equipped. I heard wireless, internet to it, and a bunch of other things that you mentioned. How do you think your design or your project can scale? A bus is limited, right? Like you may have 2 locations in a day or 4 locations in a day. How can you make this idea bigger or expand or scale?
So we have a bus, so it's gonna be like a 40-mile like radius,
Mm-hmm.
and there are gonna be multiple buses that have like that 40-mile radius.
Okay.
There'll be, like,
Also,
mul-
to add on to that, will there be like multiple buses
Mhm.
to supply like that 40-mile radius, like what she was saying, and it will be like a big bus, not like a school bus, or like something bigger to supply multiple
Okay.
people.
How many people would be needed to run a bus?
It would be like a party bus. So you know how a party bus can like, let's say like 20 or 30 people, I guess, could hold in the bus. Cause it's not gonna be like you will said, it won't be like a school bus, it'll be like a party bus.
Okay.
How many staff people would be on the bus to help the artists?
So we have a driver on the bus that like drive through the neighborhoods, and we also have like live classes and also online classes. So there'll be like people helping out like live and like showing everybody what to do, but there'll also be like lessons, like pre-recorded lessons for each age group to like know what to do.
There'll be like maybe 5 or 4.
And these are like some of the art tutorials, and then like some of the arts that our team had an opportunity to create. Like this is like the tutorial, and then these are the 2 pieces of art that we made.
How did you improve the concept over time?
So, before we talk to professionals at Discipline Arts and Education, all these art that you see on the outside of the bus was not there. It looked more like a white bus, like I mentioned before. But when we went to Dayspring, they gave us feedback on to make it look more art and more colorful, that we should add pictures. And then we all got pictures that we liked and the type of art we'd like to see on the bus, and then we put it on the bus.
Have you figured out the cost to do one bus?
No, not yet, because we don't know if this is gonna like go all the way yet. So we haven't figured out yet.
Okay. What are your next steps in this project?
Probably finding out the cost and making more improvements.
Okay.
Maybe finding someone who would have a company that would have interest in this.
Okay.
Sponsoring as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So in a day, how many kids can you teach or address? Have you thought about that?
Well, we're gonna go like multiple locations. Like we could go like schools. So like like each grade level could come down and like draw and like figure out how to do it.
And we will also go to like schools, libraries, community events, or birthday parties. So like a birthday, they can like reserve like this bus, and they can like, we would probably have like a website that they can like reserve and say, oh, we have a birthday party, can we sponsor this bus? And they could have it on here.
And we also have a flyer that we use, so you could contact us.
And what you're holding right there is like what the website would look like.
That was my next question. Okay, this is how the website would look like. Okay. Have you made the website or this is just?
No,
what-
I don't know. We
Okay.
just planned it out.
We haven't thought about it.
I think part of the question that was asked that maybe you didn't understand was, so you have the bus, right? And the bus is going to drive to a school. But you talked about multiple locations, but if you drive to your school right now, the bus, by the time you have all the classes, you probably are gonna spend a whole day at one place, right? And that's, I think, part of the
Right.
question was thinking through that aspect of it. It's not necessarily that you're gonna be able to drive this to 4 locations in one day.
Yeah, that's why we have multiple buses.
Right, well, that's the scaling.
Well, since there's like 8 time limits for like each age group, it'll be like once you reach your time limit, you have to get off the bus and more people could come in.
But think about what that time limit is. Is that half an hour? It's just like classes in school, right? You know, the bell rings and everybody scrambles like mice.
We're gonna transition over to the robot design part.
I assume that's one team member that couldn't be here today?
There too.
Two, okay. But only one of them rated a
Well, yeah, we didn't know.
This
about-
one was planned.
plan, okay. Fair enough, go ahead.
Oh, me?
Robot, whenever you're ready.
We identify our missions by ranking them from hard to easy in points worth. After we evaluated all of this, we chose the 9 missions we wanted to solve. We also used wireframe and grid to decide our route.
We all contributed to programming by rotating the code in each week. We also used teamwork by always coding in the code. This allowed us to problem solve while making improvements to our actors. This ensured everyone learned how to code and understood how the robot worked.
We designed our robot by making attachments and testing the robot and its attachments on missions to see if they work. Our robot's features are battery mounted over the wheels so the robot will have better traction with the map. Gear connection to allow for quick changes. We checked if our robot was level. We also checked its center of gravity to make sure the weight was evenly distributed. Our code. We started our code with pseudocode. That helped. We also used MyBlocks to make the code shorter and cleaner. That also helped us later on when we used repeated code.
This specific code helped us solve 2 missions. First, the robot moves the attachment to the right height by using the position. Then, the robot uses a gyro straight to move towards the gyro. Then, the robot uses the attachment to pull down and move backwards. Then, the robot uses a gyro straight to turn right to face the soundboards. Then, as it moves its way towards the soundboard, it uses the attachment to lift the soundboard levels to earn the maximum amount of points.
Let me explain how the gyro MyBlocks works. We have 2 parameters, one for how far we want to go and the other for the angle we want to follow. We set our motors to the relative position to 0. The robot moves until the number is greater than the relative position. We calculate how much we need to adjust using our current gyro value minus the desired angle. This is multiplied by a -1. This flips the value so we can stay on the desired path. We made 3 attachments to accomplish 9 missions. 2 of the attachments have a gear connection and are powered by a motor. We used our lift attachment for 3 missions, and we used our curved attachment for 2 missions. We also have a passive attachment, meaning it doesn't move, to push our figures, pedestal, and mission model. This one attachment gives us 80 points.
We modified the pegs at the bottom so the robot wouldn't tip when we tried to lift the light show, and also so it wouldn't rub against the table. We used a rod to be able to easily adjust the height. We improved our accuracy by changing the movement acceleration to slow. This improved our accuracy from 60% to 90% when moving 50 centimeters. This worked well for shorter distances. For longer distances, we created the gyro straight MyBlock to ensure accuracy.
Let me highlight our robotics plan. So we started off with a benefit and risk analysis. Then we brainstormed ideas. We then tested our design. We also wrote pseudocode. We used teamwork to code. We made improvements. We also, until we successfully completed the mission. We never forgot to have fun, and we repeat this mission for each run. Have any questions? Thank you. Have any questions?
Okay, Number of motors?
We have so we have 2 motors for,
One for each wheel.
yeah, and then, we have color sensors too.
Okay. So you're using color sensors and gyro? Cause I heard you talk about using the gyro.
Yeah.
But you're using the color sensors as well?
Yeah.
How are you using the color sensors?
The color sensors detect the path, so like the robot knows like where to go.
Okay. So how are you determining how far it needs to go?
Normally we use like a ruler to determine like how far it needs to go from like one face to another.
Okay, so a couple different ways you can do a distance, right? One is counting revolutions, right? Counting rotations. The other is a motor speed, a fixed speed for X number of time, for X number of seconds, right? Are you doing one of those, or you have something different that you're doing?
Like also, we kind of also like estimated, and then we kind of like changed it, like if it needed, yeah.
Okay, and when you measured, did you measure it to see how far it had gone?
Yes.
English or metric?
Metric.
Good answer. Much easier in base 10 than base 12. Makes the math a whole lot easier. To rotate, turn the robot, how does it turn? I know you're using the gyro as a feedback, but are you rotating one wheel with one wheel stopped, or are you turning wheels in opposite directions?
Well, we turn the wheels in opposite directions.
Okay. Much tighter turning that way. And you said you all did code.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
switched
We
each
rotated
week, so
Okay. And how did you pick missions? I mean, I understand you have 9 missions and you ranked them and looked at points, but how did you decide who was working on what mission?
Like coding. So we made like runs, and then like we started on the pink run, then we did the blue run, and then green run, and we would kind of like work on different runs because we were switching like every week. So we all got to do like each of the runs.
So you did each of you did every mission and
Yeah.
wrote code for each mission, or?
Not
to add
each.
on to what she said, some of us, while we're working on a mission, some of us would work on the attachments and starting the robot, while some of us would work on the code. Like, so we would split on that.
Okay, I'm just trying to understand, if you have 9 missions, then, you know, you divide it up into teams, or, you know, or individually you pick missions. Combined missions or all individual missions?
Combined.
Combined? And when did you decide you had a mission that was good? When it worked once, or when it worked 3 times, or when it worked 300 times?
Wow.
I would say 3 times. So.
3 times,
And
okay.
I checked it the next week and if it's still.
Yeah, if week to week it worked.
Yeah.
How do you determine your starting position?
Like when we start the robot,
Yeah, when you start at base, how do you know where it is?
we kind of like started with the starting position and then like coded.
Okay, you know, but, so my question is, today versus yesterday versus the day before, how do you know when you start the mission, where to set the robot?
So these like lines here,
And on home base?
on home base, we always, before we start the mission, we always want to set it against the wall. So it would be, our counting would never be wrong. And then there'd be these black like lines, like on a ruler,
Mhm.
and then we align our wheels against this.
Okay, so you have it backed against the wall and then you visually are rotating it or just sliding it to line up with the line, right?
Yes.
And how many times does it come back to base? Each mission or each combined mission is coming back to base and you've gotta push buttons to tell it to go to the next program?
Yes.
Okay.
What are the failure points in your robot?
Some of the failure points were when a lot of the times we get stuck on mission number 10,
and we'd lift it, like every week, it would be a different problem on that mission.
And like if the first mission messes up, then it'll be like at a different position, so it'll kind of like mess up
Yeah.
the rest of one's missions, cause it'll be like if it messes up, it'll be at a different position, so.
That's the challenge with a combo, if the first one doesn't work, it's like hitting dominoes. Okay, I think we're ready to go to
Next
core.
step.
So, I'll just lead into that, communication wise on your team, how did you, even both for both your project and for the robot design, how did you, like, one group let another group know, what you'd worked on that day, or document your project, the process? Did you have a way to do that?
We like logged like what happened like each meeting and like who was doing what.
Where did you log it?
We have a notebook.
Okay,
A binder, yeah,
Okay.
a binder for like all the resources. we
Okay.
use. Where we got our research and all our.
so you had one kind of a central location where you kept everything?
We had this is a,
I figured.
we had a to-do list,
Okay,
an in progress, and a done.
okay. I wanna know a little bit more about that STEM night. What did you do what did you do as a team at that STEM night?
We told, like, we surveyed 31 children, and we asked what they would want, if they would like to go on the bus or not,
Okay.
and 29 out of those children wanted to.
Did you also, while you were there, talk about FIRST and what your team,
Yes.
what'd you tell people? What about FIRST did you share?
We were showing them a robot and like what it could do, and it, like some people were like interested, kind of
Okay.
like by the robot, and we told them like information about like if they want to start their own team.
Okay,
And to add on, we had the innovation project on one table, and then after we showed them, like we surveyed, they would go to like the art coding project, the first, and we would tell them like this is our second year doing first, well some of us second year, doing first, and we would show them how the robot works and what's its function so I can do.
do you have some questions?
What was something that if you had to do it all over again, you will do it differently?
Maybe like one of the missions, cause like sometimes like it just wouldn't, like mission 2 right here, like the theater change, we kind of didn't really get it like every time. It was only like once like in a few times, like it would work, and it usually like if we could start that over, like I probably would, so we could like do it.
And maybe we could like change we could make the attachments a little bigger, so it can like and longer, so like if it's a little too short, then if we make it longer, then it'll like actually reach the mission.
Did you all have fun?
Yes. We're gonna, then give you some good feedback on what we saw. So, start with the project.
I think I like the fact that you chose art, because what we see today is everyone wants to do something with technology. You chose to do some art, so I think that's a good thing. Art's very necessary for all of us as well. You did your surveys, you talked to professionals, and you had fun doing this all along the way. Something that I think you can build on is, what does it cost to implement your idea? Who would fund it? And how can it become bigger, that not just a place or a city or a school can use it, but the whole world can use it?
Right, how about some robot design feedback?
So great job checking the center of gravity, especially as the robot is relatively short in length. I certainly see robots that struggle, and some of the teams have overcome that by rebalancing, so checking that was good. I would suggest thinking about utilizing a starting jig, and you can make it out of Lego. The one disadvantage and the jig would do essentially what you're doing with the wall and the lines. The disadvantage of having it start against the wall is if you have a mission and you wanna try and redo it, right, during the competition, your 2.5 minutes, and it's going too far, you don't have the ability to pull it further away, you know, where if you started it just, 2 centimeters off the wall, and it was going a centimeter too far, you, on the fly, would be able to set it in the jig and then pull it back, which obviously with the wall, you can't do that, so just something to think about. I have seen teams struggle with that, where, they try a mission 2 or 3 times, and all they had to do was just move where it started from. But in heated competition, it's a lot easier for me standing out away from it than you trying to get all the points, so.
Thank you.
So I really liked how you went to a STEM night and got yourself out there in the community, and, did you drum up any business for other robotics teams? Did you
Yes.
get some other people interested?
Yep.
But finding kids to do it's really not the problem, it's finding other coaches, right?
Yeah.
Yes, other coaches to help. You have to figure out a place to go to, recruit people to do that. And I like the way you show a lot of respect for each other, and it looks like you had a really nice, clear process for getting all the work done. Good job on that, and including, you included a team member that couldn't be.
This is some of the work he did.
What was his special area?
So he did like some of the programming, and he also like put a lot of the pictures on the bus, and he was one of the people that surveyed the kids, so he did a lot of work for his
Nice.
team.
We also have another member, her name is Aria, she's in 5th grade. We just found out that she couldn't make it, this morning, and she was like kinda a backup for, the coding, but she also participated a lot in the art and the design and the innovative project. And, she also surveyed the kids while we were at Marquette.
When you talk about surveying the kids, was these survey to your age group or to high schoolers?
Our age group.
Okay. Okay, because the STEM was hosted at
Yeah.
Marquette,
But
but
there
it
were
was
a lot of
really,
little kids.
okay, okay.
Did you have something else you say? Okay, well, thank you very much. I think our time's just about up. We hope you have a great rest of your afternoon.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Enjoy this chance to see what all the rest of the kids